companies are quickly adopting AI in the workplace, and white-collar jobs, well, they are evaporating. This week, one of the nation's largest employers, Amazon, made its message to office employees quite clear. Thank you, but no thanks. Amazon, of course, isn't alone. Big companies are realizing they can reduce headcount and cut costs without risking productivity. And this could just be the tip of the iceberg. And this is the disconnect, DJ, that we're seeing in the marketplace right now. You're seeing these big AI companies keep running and running and running. And then you've got your big consumer companies using AI to become more efficient. We're not necessarily saying that they're having problems. They're trying to adjust to make the bottom line more profitable. That's what any corporation does. But it's coming at the expense of employees and headcount. And this is sort of the big bad wolf in the equation coming into reality.
Right, classic creative destruction, right? We get a new technology, increases efficiency, productivity, sounds great. You do have job losses in the near term. Now, in the long run, one of the things I think people are missing with AI is the fact that, yes, it is in many instances a substitute for labor, but it can also be a complement. I've already started using it in a whole host of different applications. So it can make some employees more efficient, more productive. That's going to drive real wage growth. And so you end up actually seeing, as with all these different technologies, you end up seeing a net increase in employment, but that's over the long run. To your point, Jackie, in the short run, can you see these kinds of disruptions in the labor market? Absolutely.
Is this, Brian, part of what is driving that fear that we were talking about earlier? The fear of young people and older people, but people across the board to want to embrace AI because they start seeing headlines like this and say, whoa, it's probably only going to get worse from here.
Well, there's reality, and the reality is there's going to be displacement. Then there's the layer of ideology people put on reality, which is you've got displacement. This is the ill of capitalism. Therefore, we must abandon capitalism. That's the part that I get concerned about because I think people are buying that narrative. I think one of the problems is, a lot of this is hitting college graduates. It's not the tech. It's not the trades worker or the Votech school or whatever. This is hitting the college grad. And I think colleges, among the many lies they have sold for a long time, one of them was, come to college, run through the system, get your stamp, and you are entitled to a job. And that has been a destructive model because these kids I studied finance, therefore I should get a finance job. No, you had an opportunity to study finance, but if your school was not supportive of where finance is going, it's not going to help you get a job. I think we need to break the conveyor belt link that we've created between school and jobs. AI is going to do that for us, whether we like it or not. And the sooner we help young people understand that, the better choices they'll make about how they prepare for a career. And it might not just be get the piece of paper, put it on the wall, and then complain about the fact that I can't get a job.
And when I think about AI and the conversations we've had about trade school, for example, Lydia, you could almost say skip college altogether, take classes in how to harness the power of AI like it is a trade, and that would be all you need to be off and running.
And it seems like that's becoming a more attractive proposition for a lot of folks every day. I think it was encouraging a few weeks ago. You might remember we saw the White House, the First Lady there, Melania Trump, of course, convening a big task force work group talking about AI and how it's changing the labor market. And when she was speaking, along with the labor secretary there, they were speaking not just to people that are coming up the next generation, young folks that are in school now and what kind of education they're going to need. But they also spoke to people that are, going to have to transition this change in the workforce and getting re-educated. And so I think this is going to be a challenge to some of us, all of us, on being nimble and staying on top of our own game and being willing to kind of take up some new skills. The Wall Street Journal has this piece about, how folks have been on the sideline now for some of the months, after layoffs that have been really hard. My heart really goes out to them. The flip side of that, though, is the long-term benefit and the trade-off. I will say AI is not perfect yet. I'm a former lawyer like yourself. I'm in a lot of discussion groups about how AI is changing the legal community. Those jobs are really taking a hit. But I'm also seeing just as many posts and warnings out there about what AI is doing to the law right now with the brief writing and stuff. It is far from perfect. It's, the what do they call it? The AI hallucinations where they come up with fake case law and fake paragraphs. It's showing up in real court briefs because people are just feeling the pressure to operate too
Real
fast.
quick, Brianna, on this aspect, you would think that it would be lower-end warehouse jobs. We're talking about white-collar jobs. And when people start to talk about white-collar and more high-paying jobs, that becomes scary. Now, the Republicans and President Trump are big proponents of AI. Does this politically come back to bite them?
No, not if they use this as an opportunity to reorient, in particular, college students, right? I mean, we're talking about rare earth minerals. Look, we have no refineries, no processing capabilities here. This is a great opportunity to go to college students and say, here's an avenue which AI might not be able to dominate for a while. This is a place where you're not going to lose your job, right? So we have to push students towards paths where there is something that is tangible and not something that is really just, intellectual, because that's where AI is going to go first.
You mean stop subsidizing like gender studies degrees?
You got it, Brian.
Maybe if you want to get a job, don't stop
Art,
subsidizing that.
Asian art history, things like that. I took that class in college. It's a
Pointing
major.
out the things that we thought were so obvious,
Yes.
but still take
Yeah.
time to resonate with the masses.